Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So I am coming to you with live video, and there is an article, and so there is a Nike shoe controversy, and it's all over social media. And usually these things they happen right away. As soon as something develops, there's usually commentary on it that follows immediately. And so I wanted to speak on it, and I just want to say before I start reading this that if you look at the title, this is out of Cincinnati.com, that Inquirer, and it's part of the U.S. Today Network. So Paul Daugherty, everyone including Colin Kaepernick, is being played by Nike's ad campaign. And so I've listened to a couple of videos or commentary videos, which I'll say this, there's a lot of points that are valid that they make in the videos that I've heard. I've heard videos from Yvette Carnell. I've heard some videos even from Cynthia G. I've heard some videos and seen some people that have made comments on this Nike shoe ad. And so I don't normally wear Nikes, but I said I would get a pair. Now, maybe the Nike shoes that are in reference to Colin Kaepernick might be a lot more expensive than the shoes that I'm thinking about, because if it has his name on it, then it probably might cost a lot more than the regular Nike shoes, because a lot of times the Nike shoes that I've seen, and I'm just saying by the neighborhood, here even in Los Angeles, like a lot of times the shoes are not over 50 bucks, and sometimes they're over 50 bucks. They're like $60 or $70. And a lot of times when I've seen the shoes, to me, a lot of times they're like for basketball, for working out, and in terms of women, they really are not that expensive. And so I think what people are not really happy about is the message that was conveyed by Colin Kaepernick was in reference to the police violence and to Black people in general, and the way the country has pretty much swept under the rug a lot of the discrimination and a lot of the murders and the killings and the things that have happened to Black people in American society and this country, and how Black people, male and female alike, children, are treated. And so I think what is frustrating about this, which I'll have to agree on this, is that these corporations have a way of playing a game because they're about the money. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll use, they'll use celebrities, they'll use, maybe a slogan or a cause, and they market off of it. But, you got to know, people, that if it's a corporation, if it's like any other business, marketing has strategies, and this is a strategy, and it works. Before all of this controversy, before Colin Kaepernick, people were wearing Nikes. They were buying Nikes. They were buying other shoes. Now, I want to bring about the fact that the Ball family, we saw how much those shoes cost. A pair of shoes were like $500 to $600. In the beginning, I believe Michael Jordan has his shoes were like 200, 300, maybe more. They were expensive. I don't even think they were as expensive as the Ball family. And these were Black people. as well. And the only thing I can say about Michael Jordan is that he came to the defense of Black people. That was only when people started to complain that he wasn't speaking out. He, among others, that were pretty much, I would say, a powerhouse in terms of sports, in terms of financial stability, could do a lot in smaller communities, especially Black communities that really were hard pressed for financial backing. And so people are jumping all over this whole campaign ad because they feel like it's another way of siphoning money out of Black communities, which I understand that. But here's the deal. I want to make mention before I read this. We had an incident at a beauty salon or a beauty parlor or salon. There's many beauty salons and beauty supply shops that I'm going to have to say, from where I live and in surrounding communities of LA County have pretty much been Korean owned. And Black people don't have a problem going in those places and spending lots of money on hair products. And we had in New York where an incident happened where women were really treated rough. They were beaten. And they had complained that they had spent a lot of money in these shops. And they've been boycotting that shop to try to close it down. I don't know if they were ever successful in doing so. But I don't see a great multitude of people after seeing that video and knowing what's going on have stopped shopping at these places. The other thing is, I know it's some people out there that bought those Ball family shoes, $500, $600, and they spent it with no questions asked. And on a good day, a good payday, regular families who are struggling can't afford those type of shoes. $500 and $600 that pays some gas bill, some light bill. It helps to buy some groceries, put some gas in the car because gas prices are high. And I'm just being honest about my feelings on this. Now, I feel like this. Colin Kaepernick, he did speak out and he did say things that were specific to Black people. And I have used Black people and Black people of color, however people want to coin themselves, because everybody has a different opinion and different way on perspective on how they look on issues. What I feel is priceless. You have all these videos of racist white people who are burning clothes, burning Nike shoes, burning the swoosh out of whatever the clothes are. I don't even really wear that stuff. But you notice they were wearing it. For me to walk in a place of business and have those shoes on and not be burning them, and to wear one pair of shoes and spend $50, $40, $50 on a pair of shoes, and to walk into a place and see some white folks cringe because I'm wearing a pair of Nikes, which they are protesting against, priceless. I'm saying this, it's priceless. I enjoyed that, because if that's the way to get a message across, then that's the way to get a message across. I don't buy like boxes and boxes of shoes. So one pair of shoes is not going to break my wallet. Now, if you're into buying a lot of, as the kids say, kicks, or a lot of tennis shoes, and you spend lots of money on it, I consider Nike a pair of regular old shoes. I heard Yvette Carnell saying, oh, just buy a regular pair of shoes. I bet you they don't wear a regular pair of shoes. And I'm being honest. A lot of these people that are on social media, they're talking all this talk, but they got PayPal up there. donate to my channel, donate to this and donate to that. I have yet to see them have done anything for the Black community as of yet. Now, maybe all they're doing right now is talking the good talk, but it speaks volumes as to what you do in a community, not what you say. You might say all the right things and be educated and be astute, and you might be able to orchestrate a video and put out all these different facts and just really just pound a lot of knowledge into people. But if you're not actually carrying out anything to further communities that have suffered for many decades, you just all talk. It's good to talk. It's good to conversate. But if you are talking about turning a blind eye and say, you know, he said this, but now it's turning into this. I mean, what do you expect? I feel like this. He was able to get the message out, and people did hear it, and people are offended by it. And so it has to mean something. Now, we could over-examine it, but I feel like this. He did say what he had to say. He made his point clear. Now, the only thing is that most of these corporations, it's not just Nike, it's not just some of the beauty supply shops. Most of them are owned by people who don't have the best interest in Black folks. And so we still eat, we still go to the schools, we still work the jobs, we still have to get gas, we still have to pay our bills, we still have to live. And so I bet you that most of these people that are commenting on these threads, most of these people that are coming to these videos and listening to Cynthia G and listening to Yvette Carnell, and they're listening to all of these wonderful speakers, you don't realize that, I'm going to say this, they have valid points, but still, on a good day, when you walk out of your door, what grocery store are you going to go to that has Black owned on it? What gas station are you going to go to put gas in your car that has Black owned on it? When you pay your bills, who are you paying your bills to? Does it have Black owned on it? When you pay your rent or your mortgage, who is that money going to? It may benefit you if you're a homeowner, but to those who are renting, who is your money going to? Is it Black owned? Are those managers and those owners going to donate to Black community? Probably not. But you still have to put money into those type of things, because the way this system here in America is set up, everywhere you look, no matter how you disagree with it and you feel disgruntled and pissed off and angered, the whole society has been set up around a supremacist construct. Yes, a white supremacist construct. And so there's no escaping it. The only thing you can do is speak out on it and try to build from what little you do have. And those of us who have tried to do that have tried. There have been people that have done it. But read back into history as to what has happened to a lot of those individuals who have spoke out on issues involving Black community and Black politics and Black civil rights. Read about the history of that. Some people already know, they've read about it, and they know that it's frustrating. It's like a battle that you keep trying to fight. Now, I will say this, I got to give it to Colin Kaepernick. He did get a message out there. And anytime he got a message out there that was enough that it polarized people to want to burn their shoes. I look at it as this. You're seeing a reflection of these individuals who really, they claim they care about the homeless and they care about, the needy, and they want to help individuals, but they really don't, because if they did, they'd be donating those clothes and shoes to the homeless and to people who need them. And they're not, because they're selfish individuals, straight across the board. So anyway, this article is by Paul Daugherty. Okay. And so Reds interim manager Jim Riggleman says that the team's energy is lower than he likes it after 6-2 loss to San Diego Padres Thursday. Okay, so I don't know if that's even related to this, but it may be a video that's a total different thing, because sometimes these articles come with videos that are streamed about other teams. So anyway, the article starts to read here from the picture you see to the left on Colin Kaepernick. Sneakers have been a cultural totem and part of the lifestyle choice of half a century at least. As a kid, I went through a PF Flyer phase, look 'em up boys and girls, a kids phase, a phase when Chucks were life, and finally an Adidas phase. Had Nikes been the shoe when I was impressionable and needing to belong, I'd had a Nike phase too. And so I want to stop with that. All through my high school years, even my elementary, I'll go back as far as elementary on to middle school and high school, Black kids have worn starter jackets. They've worn tennis shoes up the ante. We had Pumas, we had Adidas, we had Nikes, we had starter jackets that had Nike on it. We had starter jackets with team logos on it, football team logos. Before all of this controversy, they've literally made these industries rich before all of this, and nobody was complaining about it. Nobody was really looking at all of what was going on. And there has been other brands that Black people have made, like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Guess jeans, a lot of designers that some of the designers don't even hide the racism. Some of them have spoken out in the past, said that they didn't make the clothes or the shoes for Black people. And Black people still went ahead and bought it. And so I'm just in awe at all of these people who are so concerned now for where Black dollars are going, when I still don't see anything happen. Now, I know Michael Jordan, he decided to make plenty of donations. He did donate to a few charities, and maybe more than that. He's into philanthropy, which is donating and helping into charities and helping people in need. And he also helped with hospitals, and he's donated to a few other organizations, especially into the seriousness of the police shootings that had occurred. But that didn't come until a lot of Black people started complaining. They started to complain because they felt like he and others, not only Michael Jordan, weren't speaking out on these issues, and that they needed more input of, real high profile Black people to speak out on these police shootings and some of the atrocities and the tragedies that have happened in Black community and American society. And so it goes on to say the difference, and it's a quaint difference when seen today, was shoe companies then didn't make pseudo-political statements or suggest a false social conscience. You bought their shoes because they made you run faster or jump higher. How precious. It's been a while since Nike has been calculating and manipulative with its advertising. Perhaps Tiger Woods taking or talking about how he wasn't allowed in some country clubs had lost its power, if ever it may had any. So Tiger Woods wasn't allowed in some country clubs, even though most of his women that he's been with are white. And so Nike had to find a new social cause to pretend to expose or espouse rather. And so Colin Kaepernick believed in something, even if it matters or if it means sacrificing everything. That's the Nike slogan. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. That's the Nike slogan, now affixed across a close-up of Cape's face. Okay, and it pisses far-right WASP, which is white Saxon Protestants, or white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, WASP individuals, and white supremacist people, far-right people, alt-right people, people who are pretty much opposed to anybody talking on behalf of Black people that have been gunned down or they've been mistreated in American society. So forget a minute how the statement insults active military members, first responders, and anyone else taking selflessness to the ultimate extreme. Forget that Kaepernick has now officially sold out. So this is where this is coming from, y'all. So you got to see also there's a two-edged sword to this. Some of these people that are putting this out here to make people opposed to this, also the very same people who are mad at Kaepernick for speaking out on behalf of Black people. They want him completely silenced. And so they've tried to retort his message. So now they've used it as a diversity thing. And so that's what's got Black people or Black community in awe. And somewhat a little bumfuzzled behind this, but not completely, because it's not unlike that we have not seen this before, some of us, where marketing has done this. And so think about it. Marketing is what it is. It is what it is. They're out to make the money. And even if they have to reach, okay? And so the same thing happened with Carol's daughter. People were all about that because Carol's daughter, when it first started out, it was hair care products that was specifically for Black people. And then in order for her business to grow, she started catering to people that were mixed, and then others, and then white people. And it pissed a lot of Black folks off because they wanted it to stay specifically for Blacks. But what does the world of marketing do? Make money. It is what it is, even at the expense of, you know, people's feelings. So think instead about the evil sneaker empire routine and arrogance and casual hypocrisy. Nike's Tiger ad ran about the same time Nike was merrily shopping its workers. Okay, so those Jordans you wore proudly in 2000, which I never wore any Jordans, you know, but I've seen a lot of Black people that wore Jordans. Lots of them still, some will still buy them. Air Jordans. So in 2000, they were very likely were assembled by someone in Asia making an unlivable wage in an unsafe factory. But I didn't see nobody really protesting about that. So Nike got caught with his shoes untied on that one and made improvements in wages and working conditions. And yet barely a month ago, 2 women at Nike Corporate Oregon sued the company, claiming Nike still discriminates against women. Okay? And what places don't? There are jobs that won't even pay women what they're worth. And some of us work at those jobs. And you don't see very many people fighting for those causes either. So apparently tonight, one form of injustice is more important than another. So namely, the kind of injustice the company believes will sell shoes. So which ad is more ridiculous, the current Kaepernick production or the ad starring the bargaining megastar Eldrick Woods? Okay, so that one launched in '96 when Woods turned pro and featured the golfer saying, "There are still courses in the United States that I am allowed to play because of the color of my skin." So which was a lie? In September of '97, a Washington Post reporter called Nike to ask which golf courses exactly would bar young Mr. Woods, which is Tiger Woods, from teeing it up. The answer from Nike's PR director. So Tiger Woods can play on any golf course he wants. So the ad was a lie. So not exactly the PR man told the Post. Okay. So inclusive sport. Okay. Oh. Then why didn't you say that? Okay. So because saying that would have taken the edge off the ad. Nike is edgy. Don't you know? Nonsense kicks off Nike's 30th anniversary of its Just Do It mantra. So just do what? The ad premieres on NFL's first regular season broadcast Thursday night on NBC. So, oh, by the way, Nike supplies the NFL with uniforms, and Kaepernick has sued the league, claiming he is being blackballed, which he most certainly seems to be. So this makes NFL squirm like a baited worm. So that's the only good thing about it. The league issued this lame response. The social justice issue that Cohen and other professional athletes have raised deserve our attention and action. Okay, so they did say that, but some people ain't buying that either. But hey, I'm going to be honest. I have not seen any black dudes do what Kaepernick has done in a while, in a minute. The last time I seen this was with Muhammad Ali. So the new ad is marketing strategy masked as social statement. In other words, Nike's business as usual. And exactly, because it's a corporation and it's into marketing and it's about making money, not making friends necessarily. And they have been known to do this, like many other things that Black people have spent their money on. If you're going to buy something, if it's clothes or shoes or something, those people are trying to make money off of whatever it is that they can get as revenue. And so you know that's where it's coming from. And if they can make the most money, they'll do whatever they have to do, and they will stop at nothing to make that money. So if history serves, the campaign will be a heavyweight success. The social media numbers already are there through the roof. So Kaepernick announced the campaign and got 1 million responses within hours on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So Nikes have always appealed to the sub-35 set known in advertising lingo as belief-driven buyers. Okay, so people who buy Nike's slick line will buy Nike shoes. So those people are being played, of course. This is what the article is reading. They're not the first. So Kaepernick's being played too. You might have disagreed with the politics or his politics and or the way he expressed them, but you had to admit he did sacrifice what was left of his football career on their behalf. So now He's a shoe salesman, sacrificing what exactly? So Paul Donner Jr., week by week, Cincinnati Bengals prediction. Okay, so that's something totally different. So that's pretty much the article right there. And so I know it wasn't really a long article. I tried to read it to, a slow pace. And so there are other articles. Nike unveils Kaepernick's ad to air during NFL season. Nike goes all in. Kaepernick's voice, just do it. Ad to air during NFL kickoff game. What did Nike just do? Kaepernick ad may gain more than Generation Z than it loses. Kentucky lawyer says Colin Kaepernick is, by definition, racist. Okay, so those are different articles, but it's all centered around this controversy about this shoe ad. I know how people feel some type of way, but he did ruffle some feathers. I will say that much about it. And I'm going to pan over here. These are the new Nike new women's shoes by Nike. And or at least some of them. This is a Nike display here, and some of the shoes are like under $200. Some of the shoes are less than that, and they get, as you go down, you get to the shoes that are, like sometimes the shoes can be like anywhere from 120 to 180, less than that. This is general shoes right here. It has no logos or anything except Nike logo. Some of them $75. I've seen some as low as, here's some $60. It depends on what style, what kind of comfort you're looking for. If you're wearing them for a particular sport, or if you're just wearing them for casual, usually people will pay like, $50 for a pair of Nike shoes. And I've seen places that carry them for under $60. And so these are, Nike shoes right here, And so if I was to pull up the ball shoes, okay, LeVar Ball explains why Lonzo's new shoe costs $495. Says Nike and Under Armour are free to battle below him. The Ball family created yet another firestorm on Thursday when they unveiled Lonzo Ball's first signature shoe under the family brand, ZO2, with a price tag of $495. This is for one pair of shoe. Okay, and then I seen some other shoes they had that were like $500, $600 tops. And that's for one pair of shoes. Now, if you're buying shoes that cost that much, and, then I could see you making all this controversy. But who's really buying those type of shoes? And then you want to ask yourself, what are they for? Are you in a particular sport where you actually need them? Can you get another shoe that does the same thing and doesn't cost that kind of money? And so what is their strategy? Marketing, making money. It's the same thing. It might be black people doing it, but it's the same thing. And it's going into whose pocket? Some black people's pocket. But it'll come out that the Ball's father is married to a white woman. So is it really going into black people's pocket? Maybe the black father's pocket, but he's got the white wife. Now, I don't know if he's still married to her or not. From last I checked, he was. So, give or take, on a good day, most black people, when I see them going into the shoe store, and I've been with been with family members, and you go into the shoe section, I see a lot of people eyeing those Air Jordans. Even if Michael Jordan is even not on board with that anymore, a lot of them will purchase those shoes. A lot of people will purchase them, and it ain't just black people purchasing those shoes. Now, what's frustrating And like I said, to bring it back, is that here you see, which I believe was really what was supposed to be shown. You see all these different entities. They were different people from different walks of life that had the Nike symbol. They showed uh, people from like Kenya, people from out of the country, immigrants and whatnot, that were supposedly a picture of diversity. And so I believe this must be the Nike ad. So they were showing all these different walks of life of people who are supposedly, people who are disabled, and you're seeing it here. People from different countries. There's the woman that's got the hat, and white people, cheerleaders, surfers, people from all these different places, people who have disabilities, people who are from different countries, Kenyans that run from different countries, little P-ball. All these are the Nike ads, people that from all walks of life. There's supposed to be what you would say the new face of America, or should be the face of diversity in America. And so these are people that, are exceptional. There's something about them that makes them unique. And so this is, a whole far different avenue than what the first point was intended. And they also even have LeBron on there. He opened a school. And then they show Colin Kaepernick with his afro, which is very pro-black. And so they also show, women in soccer and runners, football players, just people of all walks of life. And so this more or less looks like diversity. Also, they show Serena, and some people would get mad about that because one of them's husband, I think one of them's married and the husband is white. And so everybody is like pretty much pulling out all the different things. See, it says just do it. And so they're pulling out all the different things that they dislike about this whole move with Nike. Let me tell you something. Still, you have people burning shoes. They don't like the message that got across. I know that they feel as though that they should have stuck to a one specific message. But hey, a message did get out. And even by them doing this, I'm not in full agreement with it. But I'll say this. To see that look on people's face when you walk into a place and you have a pair of shoes on with that symbol, and it pisses them off because it always brings back the statements that Kaepernick made on black crime that has happened. That is not really the big focus. It's what has happened to black people as a whole in their communities. They always want to say it's black crime, but that's not the focus. They always want to put black people in this box as if they're criminals. And they always have these commentators on these news stations, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, and they always want to highlight black crime. But they're just like there's diversity in crime as well. Crimes happen everywhere, not just in the black communities. It happens everywhere with every different walk of life as well. But the thing is that he put the focus on black people that have been killed by police officers, and those police officers are on paid leave, or they get exonerated, or they walk scot-free after murdering someone and turn to find out the person didn't have a weapon, or they weren't the suspect, they just looked like the suspect. The message got out. We may not like how it got out. We may not feel like it's enough's been done, but hey, what are you going to do about it? This may be the first step. It may not be the best, but it's the first step. That's the way I look at it. I look at it as a first step, because it may take a while before we actually do get something that is a specific to just Black people. And it may take going through all of these steps. This may not be the hard hitting one, but it did get out enough to be polarized that it's making a stir. It is making people talk. Him kneeling did make people conversate. Him kneeling and him mentioning all of the things that have happened in the Black community and society in America, it does make a difference. It has been polarizing. It has raised some eyebrows and ruffled feathers. So, like you say, Yvette Carnell and all these people that, Black community is imploding. Let me tell you something. Black community is not the only one that has had problems. Right now in the White House is imploding because there's so many books that have been written on Donald Trump alone. And a lot of those people that have come from out of there and left, if you can just count the numbers of people who were in there in the White House that were working with him, and they have written books on him to pretty much his demise. And now I'm hearing that they're talking about they still have that ear-ringing language called impeachment. And so I don't know if that would ever actually take place, but I tell you what, that White House and what's going on in there is imploding big time. And so if this is a way to get a message out, then so be it. It takes a long time to actually get yourself to a place where you can really reach a whole lot of people. But think about it. There's a lot to be had here. And so I feel like this. One pair of shoes is not going to break me like Black preachers that come to a community of Black poor people and always want to pass around a collection plate, and they want an upwards of $1,000 or more for their building fund, which you see that building never gets made. One pair of Nike shoes that's under $50 is not going to break me when you see Black people that have been in the entertainment business for many years, and some have not even put any money in the Black communities. Not whatsoever. $40, $50 pair of shoes is not going to break me when you have Black commentators and people that come on videos and say all these things and feel good messages about Black community, but you have yet to see anywhere that their message has shown that they actually are doing something for a Black community. And so there have been other issues that have come out that have been really hot button topics, but I have yet to see anybody do anything about it. So that's pretty much my point on that issue. And so I don't know how you feel about this. I'm not a person that really just goes out and spends money frivolously on clothes anyway and buys a whole wads of shoes. But I've noticed that some people are just like that. They don't even really care or think to where they're buying their clothes and who it's from. They just do that. And, I heard somebody saying that Black people are materialistic. Well, Black people are not the only one that, will invest in material items. This is capitalism. This is American society. A lot of people here in America invest in material items and spend money on material things. That's what's always been taught to everyone. And so you can't just put one group down and not focus and say that other people haven't done it. But what I think the problem is here with our group is that we don't have enough businesses. We don't have enough financial stability of infrastructures and corporations of our own to feel comforted to say that Black community is represented in America in a rightful way, that we can actually bounce our dollars back and forth off of one another. But that hasn't been the fault of Black community alone. There have been a lot of things in place that has always stopped that and intervened to cut that off. So I'm going to leave this as it is. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for listening. But It isn't the fault of just Black community as to why Black dollars don't bounce back and forth. It's not just the poor people that you should be bashing and mad at. You're in a society where it has been put in a system that's set up for people not to succeed. The people you need to be sending a message to are the ones that you're talking to, the poor people who have fight, but they have no way to fight. And so what you need to do is talk to the ones that have the money, like the billionaires, the NFL football owners, and all of these people that are the over the mainstream media, and all these people that run the country and in the White House. Those are the people that you need to be upset to send the messages to, not poor people who they basically are voiceless and they don't have a lot to do with. Thanks for listening.